nationwide series right here. So to get us going, let's go trackside here and join tonight's opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as our colors are presented by the United States Army Nashville Recruit Battalion. Last ribbon is standing for invocation delivered by Joe Nels, pastor of Family Baptist Church in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for all your blessings. You said in all things give thanks. So we want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. And most of all, we thank you for Rouse Sheets partnering to give us the power that we see before us tonight. Thank you for GM Performance Technology and the R07 engines. Thank you for Sunoco Racing Fuel and Goodyear tires that bring performance and power to the track. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. My two children, Eli and Emma, or as we like to call them, the Little E's. Lord, I pray you bless the drivers and use them tonight. May they put on a performance worthy of this great track. In Jesus' name, boogity, 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 amen.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for our next event, presented by David Flowers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Racing for a Cause TV, bringing you late model action here tonight from the Bullring. I'm your host, Chris Legge. With me tonight, as always, Rick Hammond Jr. Rick Hammond Jr., how you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing good, buddy. Happy hump day. Happy Bullring night. This is going to be exciting, buddy.
Yeah, buddy, this one's going to bring out all the stars of Racing for a Cause, ready to set forth and do action 150 laps under the lights here at the Bullring. And you see qualifying starting to happen right now. We've got 10 minutes of qualifying tonight. It's just a little difference from our normal 5. But the admin for the series decided he might want a little extra time tonight to get ready for it. And so, hey, what he wants he gets. They can always push it quicker if they need to, so hopefully he doesn't forget about that. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight, checking us out on Racing for a Cause TV. I'm sure the action's going to be fast, and man, Rick, I am ready.
Chris, this is definitely going to be an action-packed race tonight. 150 laps in this little ring. It's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers do.
Bull rings very often bring out the action. They also happen to bring out the tempers. Which is going to win? A bad temper or a bad luck race car? Man, it's going to be tough tonight. A lot of drivers out there, Rick.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to get a good count, Chris. There's over 20, so it's going to be really interesting on this little, 3.72 mile track.
Yeah, it's tiny and it goes fast. The laps click off fast, and certainly the weather tonight gonna, well, you know what? It's cool, so probably gonna end up having kind of a tighter track. And this track is tight anyway. Rick, what's the temperature out there?
Right now, Chris, the forecast here, it is clear. We're under clear skies. It is 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The track temperature is only 69 degrees. We have a south wind at 15 miles per hour with a relative humidity of 29%. So it is definitely going to be tight. It's going to take a while for these cars to loosen up, and these guys are really going to have to do a lot of give and take, that's for sure.
Yeah, so the guys over at GMR invited me out to the practice last night. We had 5 or 6 of us in here just practicing and trying to figure out lines, and I will tell you that this track is tight. I will tell you that after about 60 laps, the track loses 3 to 4 tenths of a second in speed. So lots of stuff to kind of pay attention to. And man, if we miss some action, don't blame us. Blame the track. It's going to be happening pretty fast tonight.
Yeah, it definitely is, Chris. Right now I'm showing 25 cars. I know one person, the 03 of Stacy Bedard, will not be making a qualifying lap. He wants to sit in the back, hoping that's going to be the safe space for tonight. So it's going to be real interesting to see how the 03 of Stacy Bedard moves up, Chris. Right now, qualifying laps have taken off. Right now, number 44, Chris Mefford, is the pole winner with a time of 14.649. Moving down the 23rd spot, that'd be James Edward in number 25, running at 15.738. So these laps are definitely going to be ticking off very quickly, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be fast. It's going to be exciting, man. Right now, the admin's just going over some stuff, I'm sure, but I can't wait for this thing to get started. I really can't. As I have some mic difficulties. Sorry about the noise there. So we know it's a bull ring. Kurt and Kyle Busch kind of got their start on this track, if I remember correctly. And I've raced on it a couple of times, so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this one starts, and most interesting how it finishes. But I'm seeing some kind of familiar names up front. One name standing out to me with a really nice qualifying effort. Patrick Smith, second place. So that's a really nice qualifying run for him. I expect that some of the real short track drivers are going to have a pretty good night tonight. I'm just taking a quick peek and we'll bring it all to you here in a bit. But T-Roy Radford, Troy, he looks like he's qualified 4th. Andy Lambert 7th. Rowdy Johnson in 13 D-Strong car 10th. So, you know, some names out there that we were kind of accustomed to seeing, and they put down some good qualifying. So again, right now the admin's just going over some rules and probably trying to make sure these guys are ready for some give and take tonight, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. Right now, Steve Baker, the series director for the late models here at Racing for a Cause on Wednesday nights, is just letting people know that right now going to be a lot of give and take. There's going to be a lot of respectful driving out there because this is a short track, and I know from racing on this track a few different times, one thing that is very easy to do is you lose concentration for a split second, and before you know it, you're in the bumper of the person in front of you, because as these guys turn into these corners, they really do have to slow down to get that late model to turn. So that's something to be watching out for tonight, and we know that it's going to happen because it is easy to lose your concentration on such a short track, and it's bound to happen. So I'm sure we'll be seeing that.
Oh yeah. Normally we say we don't want to see a lot of yellow flags and we hope the racing's clean. Well, here we're pretty sure it's not going to be. I expect clean racing, but I also expect some yellow flags, and some of it's going to come from just not being all that familiar with the track. This is the first time Racing for a Cause has run this in their series. Some of it is, well, like Rick said, you have to kind of get woed down into the corners. So what kind of effect is that going to have, say, mid-pack and back? Everybody's going to get jumbled up. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of bumper contact tonight. Body guys are going to be paid handsomely after this race. And, yeah, it's going to be fun. And I think we still have, just a few more minutes, Rick?
Yeah, right now we just hit that 7-minute mark, Chris, so we just have a few more minutes here. Steve's just, again, going over some rules with drivers. We do have some new drivers out there in the field tonight, but he's also just trying to get it into these guys' heads again. You know, it's going to be a lot of give and take, what to look for, and a little bit of respectful driving. JP joins us in chat there. Go Mean Streak Motorsports. We're not allowed to be biased here, but I wish you and Mr. McSwain, Rowdy, and you and Greeny very good luck tonight.
Yeah, we can't be biased, but you know, go guys. Hey, if you comment in chat, I gotta say go, right? I mean, it's kind of the rules.
Yeah, that is kind of the rule, Chris. So, you know, definitely, you know, props to all our drivers. We've been growing steadily this season. We have a lot of great new drivers. A lot of guys are bringing some talent here, so it's really interesting to watch how the family here at Racing for a Cause is starting to click on the track and learning stuff. We're actually advancing to the next session, Chris, so we're going to be gridding these cars up and getting this show on the road.
Excellent. And while we're waiting, I just want a quick plug out for next Monday night's K&N series. The 1997 throwback K&N series is going to be coming to you live from Bristol Motor Speedway. So if you like the K&N car and you like Bristol, oh yeah, it's going to be under the lights too. So hang on to your hats, boys, because it's coming. And speaking of it's coming, here come the cars as we get ready to grid here tonight at the Bullring, 150 laps. And Rick, it's a short track. If you want to get rolling on it, I'm pretty sure we won't be late.
Nope. Chris Smethberg does win the pole tonight. Starting next to him, Patrick Smith in that number 75 car. AJ Hamill brings in the 3rd place. Troy Radford qualified 4th. AJ Rogers 5th. Brian Rogers Jr. 6th. Andy Lambert 7th in that number 35 car. Peyton Johnson 8th. Earl Simpson 9th. Rowdy Johnson, the rowdy one, gets 10th place qualifying. Behind him is going to be Fluffy Garrett, Jason Garrett in that 73, Tom Quattlebaum Jr. in 12th, Scott Noslin 13th, John Stevens will be in 14th, Brandon Bridle in 15th, Justin Pinnell 16th, Timothy Hale in that 00 17th, Brian Hacker 18th, Jason T is how I'm going to call him, is 19th in that number 25 car. Craig Cummington 96 of Cummington Motorsports And Loose Lug Nuts Racing in 20th, Doug Wysocki 21st, and the car is going off, so we're just going to say Rick Greenaway in 22nd, James Edwards in 23rd, Stacy Bedard 24th, and Joshua C. in 25th place.
And that's the stars here at Racing for a Cause, getting ready to go live racing, and it's on.
It is right now. Chris Mefford in the number 44 car is really starting to pull away. He had a really good start there, Chris. We're going to have some 2x2 as Patrick Smith in that 75, and it might be A.J. Hamill who got into that, and the yellow flag is out.
It's a quick one tonight, and we kind of expected it until guys kind of get their bearings. This is what's going to happen, so let's take a peek and just kind of really see what happened.
It was Patrick Smith in the 75 and A.J. Hamill in the 14th diabetes car.
Yeah. And we kind of just caught the tail end of that. So, well, not the way you want to start. You know, you go from second to last, but I don't believe they took a lot of damage. That is one nice thing about this track. Speeds aren't so bad that that you're going to take yourself out unless you really, really have a magnet on your front bumper attracting yourself to that inside line. Jake Daly, how you doing tonight, bud? Appreciate you coming out. Yeah, it's you know, it's 25 cars on a 0.3 of a mile track. It's going to be interesting. There's no question about that. Looking up front, there's your leader in the 44 car, Chris Mefford. T. Roy Radford running second. A.J. Rogers third. Brian Rogers Jr. fourth. Andy Lambert worked up to fifth with that caution. So a little bit of movement in the top 5 already. Rowdy Johnson, I see he's up to 8th after starting 10th. Fluffy Garrett on the outside of the top 10, now inside of top 10. So a lot of movement already. It's going to be quick. It's going to be fast. And man, oh man, I got to try and pay attention. And whoo, bear with us tonight, guys. It's going to be action-packed.
It definitely is, Chris. I mean, we're already starting lap 5 there. I mean, these things are going to tick down really, really quick. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything unfolds.
Jake, I don't know the answer to that. 92 subs? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. 5,000. I don't know what I would do with that, but wow. Pace car is in. It's on the back stretch here at the Bullring. So around turn 3 and 4, getting ready to start it back up. Hey, Jake, you know what? Why don't you tell everybody? Tell everybody about us. I'm trying to get to 100 here. Then we can work on that 5,000. As we go green again, Chris Mefford pulling out real fast, taking a very nice line around the track. Man, this track looks awesome. It really does look awesome here under the lights.
Yeah, iRacing definitely did a good job, Chris. These guys are really trying to figure out what they want to do. Ideally, what you want to do here is you want to get single file, find that groove, which right now it seems really low into the corners, and then when you exit out, you're going up towards that outside wall, past that start-finish line. So that's what really needs to happen. That's going to slow a lot of guys up. They're running 2x2, which is going to let these leaders really make a mark and get some time on them. I want to just talk about Rowdy Johnson there in the number 13 car. He started 10th. He's now up to 6th. He's pushing for a top 5 tonight. I know he's been practicing quite a bit on this track to try to have a good finish, so it's going to be interesting to see what that number 13 D-Strong does tonight. Right up front of him is Andy Lambert in that 35 Children's Miracle Network car. He's looking for a good run also. Started 7th. He's in the top 5 now.
Yeah, Andy Lambert really doing a nice job pushing up to the top 5. As you said, Rowdy Johnson. And really what you want to be very, very careful of, because it's going to happen quick. And you see it already. Chris Mefford in the 44 car just on the back stretch of turn 2. And as he was entering the back stretch, you had a car on the turn 3, which means lap traffic is going to be coming on here probably in... yeah, you know, 15 laps or so is what I'm thinking, around lap 30. So you got to be very, very careful not to lose that group ahead of you. And at the same time, you got to be careful not to hit the group ahead of you.
Yeah, lap traffic is definitely going to come into a major play tonight, Chris, as Chris Mefford is working his way up to catching that 00 of Timothy Hale. Not what he wants to see. Timothy Hale is the car that is going to be the next one to be a lap down right now. The 03 is Stacy Bedard's 5 laps down, sitting in pits. I'm not exactly sure what happened to him, Chris, but right now he is sitting in the pits. I don't know if he's calling it a night or what, but we'll have to keep our eye out on that.
Nice place, nice pass there for second, and now third. AJ Rogers, Brian Rogers Jr. around T. Roy Radford. So 2 cars making some moves up front. Andy Lambert, 5th place in that 35 car. Andy doing a nice job keeping his line looking good. And of course your leader still in that 44 car, Chris Mefford.
Chris Mefford really does have a good interval on the leaders as we have the caution flag out, Chris.
Caution flag out again.
Looks like Rick Greenaway of the 24 car is spinning around there.
Let's see if we can find him here. '24 car, Rick Greenaway. I think he's having... he and Justin Pinnell get into it. Right before that happened, I don't know if it was caught on the stream or not, Greeny had an issue. He blinked right out. And that would be... Yeah, you see him. He's blinking all over the place. That would be a technical difficulty. He may not have even seen... yeah. Tight racing here. Well, you saw it. Greeny is able to stay on track, but kind of heavily damaged that 24 car. Beautiful looking autism car. Really love that car. I love that paint scheme. We go back up front. Your leader in the 44. It looks like he's carrying a couple of different sponsors there tonight. But Chris Mefford, so far, 19 laps in, has led every single one of them. He's going to be followed by AJ Rogers and Brian Rogers Jr. Troy Radford in the 94 car, Andy Lambert in the 35, Rowdy Johnson, he's sitting in 6th place in that 13 D Strong car. Jake, I wish I did, bud. Honest to God, I really do. I've been a race fan all my life. My first race, I was a week old when my parents brought me to my very first race, and I slept through the whole thing. I have a pretty decent knowledge of especially short track racing, and we do have quite a few of our members here at Racing for a Cause that do race in real life. Some of our normal members aren't even racing in the summer, so on iRacing, that is to say, because they're busy racing their real cars.
Definitely want to give a big shout out to all our viewers watching, Chris. Right now we're showing 20 watching. It's bouncing up and down. It's great to see you guys. Thank you for coming out on this Wednesday night to watch Racing for a Cause TV as we watch the late model series of Racing for a Cause. Try to tame the Bullring right now. Chris Mefford in that number 44 car has been the leader all the way through as we go green again. As that pace car goes down, we're just waiting for Chris Mefford to start this field right around this track again, and he's going to start going now, and he gets a really big jump, Chris. Man, he is putting some time on them right now. Brian Rogers Jr. in that 10 car, AJ Rogers in the 12, they're fighting for second place. Man,
yeah, Chris Mefford with a absolute shot. What a hole shot he had. And second, third place cars of the Rogers, they're like, where is this guy going? I don't know, but he's going there in a hurry. And there's some other action going on out back, but that's a pretty cool shot right there, kind of looking at everything happening behind Chris.
Yeah, that really is. I mean, Chris Mefford is in the place. We have a yellow flag out again.
Yellow flag again. And I'm not seeing it.
I know it happened down around the 11 of Brian Hacker, Chris. I'm trying to see where it might be here. Yeah, it looks like Patrick Smith got into Brian Hacker there.
Well, we kind of expected that at the beginning, right? I mean, we got to call a spade a spade. This track, this many cars, it's going to happen. This is going to test everybody's patience tonight. We did have a nice little green flag run there right before these two cautions came out. I hope to get back to that very soon. 150 laps here tonight. Again, I want to mention next Monday night, the K&N Throwback Series heading to Bristol for some more short track action. Man, I can't wait for that one either. So every Monday and Wednesday night, tune in here for Racing for a Cause action on Racing for a Cause TV. Next Friday night, the return of TRRL. If you have a league that you're looking to join on a Friday night, check out the guys over at TRRL. They do a really fantastic job. They're going to be running the trucks for the rest of the year. I believe it's 5 more weeks. And then they're going to start in on their Xfinity Series. So we can't wait to be bringing you that action. Also coming in August, Rick, the Dog Days 250.
Yeah, the Dog Days 250, that's going to be our first. That was actually a bigger mess, Chris, as I'm looking back down at the replay here. It looks like the 33 of Scott Noslin got into the number 3 car of Brandon P. That caused everybody to kind of button up there. They ended up going 3 wide, so that's what happened there. But yeah, August 3rd, we're going to start qualifying for the Dog Days 250 at Bristol Motor Speedway and the super late models under the lights. It's going to be interesting. No fast repairs. We're going to have open setups, $10 entry fee. That $10 is going to go in between into a purse for the first, second, and third place winner, and the charities of their pick. So that's going to be really interesting. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, again, tune in. And in the coming weeks, we're going to have more and more information. And I want to thank everybody ahead of time who's decided to sponsor that race. We've got some great sponsors so far. We're hoping to have a big turnout. We want to have a couple of great nights of racing off from that one. But regardless, pace car is in. Chris Mefford leading them slowly around turn 3, and he takes off. Chris Mefford takes off in the middle of 3 and 4, and the race is on.
You know, Chris Mefford is not a fool. He's a very good driver. He's very calculated, Chris, and he's starting. And I've been noticing every time we restart here, is that's what he'll do. He'll wait until he gets right into the middle of 3 and 4, and then he takes off. And he knows that the drivers behind him are going to have a hard time with cars around them to get going and make those corners. But him, once he gets a good start, he pulls away from everybody like he's doing now, and that's the advantage here on a short Bullring like this.
Yeah, Chris Mefford, no stranger to racing up front here in this series, has won 2 races already this season. Chris Mefford looking to try and make it 3 here tonight as we operate around the Bullring. Man, this is awesome. I'm having a great time with this one so far. 33 working lap 34 now. Chris Mefford has led every single one of them, and it looks like T. Roy Radford and then 94 car has figured out a way to get up to second place. AJ Rogers 3rd, Brian Rogers 4th, Andy Lambert 5th, Rowdy Johnson 6th as we're under caution again.
I definitely want to apologize to all the viewers. I mean, number one, we're thankful that you're here. The second one, finding these cautions on this track is quite tricky.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding. It's next to impossible. Everything happens so quick. Well, we're under caution. So, here we are. I'm sure we're going to figure it out.
I know there's a lot of really good close racing going on right now, Chris, and I mean I see JP and that number 60 Dish Network, Susan G. Coleman Chevrolet got into the back of somebody there coming around. That's a very common thing that happens here. But yeah, I cannot find the caution or the reason why it's out.
Yeah, no worries. We're not going to worry about it, If we see it, we see it. If we can't, we can't. What I do see is it looks like Rick Greenaway, your lucky dog this time by, coming around getting his 1 lap back, so he's going to rejoin the tail end of the lead lap cars. A little bit of patience on this track, it rewards you. Even if you go a lap down, you're not out of this race, not by a long shot.
That caution may have came out from the number 34, Chris. Thomas Bottlebaum Jr. In that Greenaway Motorsports GMR Medford Designs car. It's a very beautiful car running for the Southern Conservation Trust. Very sharp looking car out there. I know that he just joined GMR Motorsports here. That team is one of the ones that's really growing big here. These guys take everything seriously. They're practicing most of the week, and they also do a lot of official racing, so it's really good to see. Top-notch guys, but it looks like he might have had a little bit of issue there, Chris. He did come into the pits for 4 new tires.
All right, we are looking at that car now, and you're right, that is a sharp looking car. I really like that design. Very nice job. We have a lot of talent when it comes to painters in this league. That's what I've noticed. And the guys are not afraid to throw a cause up on these late model cars, and for that we can't thank them enough. That's what we're all about here at Racing for a Cause, just trying to get the word out about all the different things that can affect people and their families. So again, thank you to all of our drivers for doing that without really even being asked. That's pretty amazing. You see the field lining up. Chris Mefford started a little bit later that time just to kind of throw the field off. Troy Radford falls in second place. He gets down really quick. Troy looking to put a little pressure on the back of that 44 car.
Well, that was a really interesting restart to watch, Chris, because Roy Radford, that number 94 car, is another teammate with Chris Mefford in that 44 car. So he kind of knows what Chris is all up and about. So he got a really good start there. The interval has not opened up like it has in the past, so we'll see what happens here. I know that Roy's looking to make that pass right now. He's just got to find the right spot to do it.
And what we have discovered last night is really coming out of turn 2 is about the best place you can to pass. But you see it right there. Chris Mefford comes into the corner a little hot and pushes up the track. Troy Radford, Roy takes over the lead in that number 94 car. So great job and great notice by Roy to see that Chris Mefford was just pushing up a little bit. We expect Chris to get that back under control and kind of try and catch back up to Troy Radford, but the lead has changed hands for the first time this race.
2 guys I'm really watching, Chris, is Andy Lambert and the number 35, qualified 7th. He's up to 5th place, and Randy Rowdy, the rowdy one, Johnson, and number 13 D-Strong car. He's up to 7th, looking to make a move on the 11 car, Brian Hacker, to try to get up behind Andy to see what he can do there. But those guys are both having a really good night. I know it's something that they've been working hard for and have been wanting. So as these laps tick down, let's hope that they stay there.
Yeah, so far so good for the 35 car of Andy Lambert, the 13 car. And you know what? We'll throw Brian Hacker in there as well. Brian Hacker also doing a lot of official racing, doing a very good job in the late model official racing, which is awesome to see. Anytime one of our guys goes out and does well in the officials, man, it's a win for us too. So excellent for all of those guys doing that.
I'm actually looking at Brian Hacker's stats right now, Chris. He did qualify 18th. He moved up to 6th place in that number 11 ASPCA. Brian Hacker is a new member to the league, been putting on a really good show. We're really thankful and glad that he is here with us and that he picked us to race with.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And that says a lot about the character of the drivers that we have here. When people are asking if they can join us, it's a pretty nice feeling. So awesome to see that the quality of driver that is asking is as good as the feeling is.
I just watched the number 9 car, John Stevens. He's driving that breast Cancer Awareness Research Foundation car. Beautiful car. He just made a really good move on Douglas Wysocki, who, got to give him props also, Chris. Qualified 21st. He's up in 9th place. He's definitely on the move. We'll see what happens. I know that he did some talking there with John to let him know, go low. I'll just sit here and hold my line. You're definitely faster than me. So that was great to see. Douglas Wysocki, he's another great driver that we have here. They're all great. We're very blessed with the members that we have here at Racing for a Cause. It amazes me week in and week out what these guys do.
And what amazes me right now is Troy Radford has caught the tail end of the field, and we have started putting cars a lap down the first is Rick Greenaway in that 24 Autism car. Rick Greenaway just got his lap back to fall again, but he's doing a great job just kind of staying out of the way of the leaders, kind of running that high line, being patient. He knows if he can stay the first car a lap down, he'll get it back.
Yeah, Rick's joined down there on the lap down thing with Fluffy Garrett in that number 73 car, Thomas Quattlebaum Jr. in the 34, and Brandon P. in the number 3 right now. Stacy Bedard in the 03 looks like he's 10 laps down, so he might be sitting on pit road doing some repairs. AJ Hamill 12 laps down. Earl Simpson of the 07 car 15 laps down. Scott Noslin in the 33 with 28 laps down, and Patrick Smith has called it a night with they're down 32 laps right now, Chris. But these guys are doing some really good racing. The field is thinned out a little bit. They found their line. They found what they want to do. They've definitely seen that they definitely have to have a little bit of respect, a little bit of give and take, and a lot of concentration as they're going around this short track, probably getting dizzy in the cockpit.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long. I believe in that practice last night, I think I did about 60 laps, and that was about all I needed. So 150, God bless these guys for going that distance. That's amazing. And some good racing to boot.
Oh, definitely. As we see the leader, T-Roy Radford, in the number 94 car, put James Edwards in the number 5 car a lap down. James stayed up high, is letting all the leaders go down low. So they're starting to move through this lap traffic, and right now there's a little bit of a clear track ahead of them, but that's not going to last for long.
Oh, the pace really picking up here on this nice long green stretch. Lap 61 right now. Troy Radford, your leader, has led 19 of them. Chris Mefford in second place has led the other 41. So between the two cars, that's your race. But I don't think we're done yet.
Oh, we're definitely not, Chris. I mean, we do have 61 working on 62 laps down already of 150. These laps are definitely ticking away quick. There's a little bit of bumping, but these guys really figured out what they want to do. They're just trying to find the best spot to pass, make those clean passes, and move on up through the field.
Hey, I want to mention again, thank you to all the viewers that have come out and started watching Racing for a Cause TV. Really appreciate it, because without you, we may as not be broadcasting. So thank you very much for coming out. We really do appreciate it. I know the drivers really appreciate it too. If you have something to say, please feel free. We are watching chat and would love to have a talk with you.
I definitely second that, Chris. It's amazing the fan base that these drivers have picked up here since we started broadcasting. I definitely want to thank all the viewers who come out every Monday and Wednesday night to watch us, and lately in the Friday nights with the TRRL League, the Thunder Road Racing League. On Friday nights, it's been amazing. If you guys haven't yet, please give us a thumbs up. Let us know how we're doing. And if you haven't yet, hit that red subscribe button. It really helps us out. Thank you.
And as we're talking, we're under caution again. And I want to say that that one may have been something to do with the 07 car. Let's take a peek and see if we can find it.
So to get us going, let's go trackside here and join tonight's opening ceremonies.
It might have actually been the 03 or Stacy Bedard.
Oh, Stacy, okay. Well, we're watching the 07 of Earl Simpson right now because, yeah, it's too late. See, I tried. I really tried.
We are fairly new to broadcasting, so there's a little bit of kinks, and you know, on a short bull ring, at the bull ring, like the bull ring, it is very tough to find out what goes on because these laps just tick by so quick. And but we'll try to do our best. I'm trying to watch Stacy Bedard here to see what happened. It looks like he may have blinked, Chris, because my screen does go black for a minute.
Yeah, there you go. Technical difficulties. It happens. It's online racing. You're going to have it. There's really not a lot you can do about it. But what you can do, if you're the leaders, is you can come in and take your pits. And that's exactly what's happening.
I'm sure after 67 laps, Chris, these guys are screaming for tires that they haven't stopped in. So you're going to see a lot of 4-tire pit stops and see what they can do. Get some of that Sunoco racing fuel packed into the tank to see what they can do. Right now, 73. I'm watching the 73 of Jason Fluffy Garrett, the Home Depot machine. His car looks pretty clean, Chris. So he's been having a good clean race. I think he's just maybe holding back for a little bit to see what he can do as he's sitting back there in 13th place.
Yeah, he was down a lap, currently showing on the lead lap, but towards the tail end. So he's going to be taking a wave around. As the field's trying to reset. Laura, thank you very much. We love streaming it, so we appreciate you coming out to watch it. Really do. Can't thank you enough.
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome to Racing for a Cause TV, where every Monday and Wednesday night we bring you the stars of Racing for a Cause.
Speaking of stars, the number 60 breast cancer car, Susan G. Coleman car, Justin Pinnell, your leader. He started leading under the caution, and he takes off. Justin Pinnell in the 60 car, your leader right now. Troy Radford, though, fresh tires, I don't believe, and yeah, it's not going to take very long for that 94 car to find his way around the 60. JP did what he had to do, get a little boost in points, so good job there. Now it's up to him to kind of stay out of the way of those fresh tires, but we're under caution again. You know, that works out very well for JP.
It most certainly does, Chris. Now he's going to be able to go in. He's going to get some fresh tires while we're under this caution flag. Because if you saw there, T-Roy was really catching up to him. But the man of the hour right now, Rowdy Johnson at number 13, sitting in 4th place, Chris. That's just amazing how he's moving up.
Rowdy's been putting in some overtime trying to get a handle of this late model car, and it's showing. It is showing on the track. Hey, we're under caution. We're going to try and sneak in a very quick commercial. And there it is. That's a commercial. Ah! Well, Laura, that's awesome. Thank you very much for coming out. And I'll tell you what. If you're a proud mom, I'm a proud broadcaster. Now, unfortunately, Peyton right now, right there, showing 3 laps down. But what a beautiful car. We have talked about it once before. And I don't mind showing you his car again out there on the track. It's a great cause, and boy, I hope you're a survivor, and man, thank you for coming out and watching.
Definitely, Laura. I mean, this is why we do what we do. Peyton's been fabulous. I love his paint scheme. I love the colors, and I'm glad that he's racing for a cause, something that's near and dear to his heart, because that makes Chris and I feel great. I mean, that's how we started this race league. I was racing the MS paint for my uncle and my aunt who are dealing with MS, and Chris runs the JDRF, Junior Diabetes Research Foundation car for his son and his dad with type 1 diabetes. So to see these guys come out, that is fabulous. I hope everything turns out well for you. You're definitely in my prayers. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Back to the action. T-Roy Radford on the pole, and he takes a shot out of the cannon. Right now, Rowdy Johnson under attack, getting by Chris Mefford for 2nd place. So the 13 D Strong car takes over 2nd place from the 44 car, Chris Mefford. Big story right now in the 35 car. Andy Lambert fighting for third place. Chris Mefford stuck on the outside, having a terrible time trying to get around everybody, but he is just looking to minimize the damage as he hangs out on the outside line. Andy Lambert attacking the inside line.
Yeah, Chris Mefford in that 44, Chris, he just did a really smart move. He backed off. He allowed the 35 and the 11 car to go past. He didn't want to push it. This track does not have a lot of room, so that was very good and respectful of him as Andy Lambert moves up. We're under caution again, but Andy Lambert in third, and the Rowdy Johnson in that number 13 car, second place right now. I don't want to keep talking about him because the broadcaster curse could come out, but definitely proud of those two guys for having a good race tonight here at the Bullring.
So important that we put on a good show. When we say we are racing for a cause, we want to see all of our cars finish. Now, we know that doesn't happen all the time, but all these paint schemes, they mean something, and I'd love to see them finish. Right now, T. Roy Radford in that Kidney Foundation car, he has led 38 laps, and he's looking very, very strong. Rowdy Johnson, the 13 D Strong car, up to second place. Andy Lambert, the 35 car, third. Brian Hacker, fourth. Chris Mefford fell back to fifth, but he's going to be starting on the inside, so that's going to be a little different this time by. The 09 car, John Stevens, he's up to sixth. Jason Garrett, we were just talking about him being a lap down, and there he is. He's showing in 8th place right now. AJ Rogers in the 12 car, he's 9th. James Edwards, that rounds out your top 10. Really good run from James Edwards tonight, too. I want to definitely give a shout out for that.
Yeah, Mr. Edwards really doing a good job. A lot of these guys doing a good job, Chris. This track is very tough. It is not as easy as people think that it is. And these drivers are putting on a heck of a show. They're making us proud. They're doing a really good job. James Edward, he definitely had a big move there, Chris. He qualified 23rd, and he's sitting in that top 10 right now. So congratulations to the 5 car.
Yeah, absolutely. So the pace car lights are off. The guys start going 2 by 2. We get ready to go back green flag racing. One more lap to go. Troy Radford on the inside. He's going to be followed by Andy Lambert, Chris Mefford. There's your inside row. On the outside row, you've got Rowdy Johnson, Brian Hacker, and John Stevens. Those 6 cars looking to set the pace for the rest of the field as we get ready to go back green flag racing. Pace car is in, or it's coming in, excuse me. Oh, I was off a lap. My goodness. Pace car is in too. That's what he's in.
Yeah, Chris, right now the top 12 are on the lead lap. Further back, it is 1 lap down right now. T. Roy Radford, that number 94 car, gets a really good jump there, Chris, on that restart. Got Rowdy Johnson pull up in behind him to see what he can do. Andy Lambert's right behind him, and Brian Hacker. These guys definitely get single filed really quick up front. They want to just get some laps down, try to make some space in between the pack there. So that's really good to see.
Yeah, and right now your first car is 2 by 2. You're looking at him right there, Jason Garrett in the 73, and we're back caution flag again.
Yeah, it looks like the number 24, Rick Greenaway, came up into the wall, Chris. He's just sitting there on track.
Rick Greenaway having a bit of a tough night. You see him there on pit road. This is one of those tracks you can eventually get the feeling for it. But there's 2 types of people. Those who kind of get it and those who kind of don't. And it's a lot tougher than you think it is for just being just shy of 0.4 of a mile. You think, hey, that's pretty easy. But then you throw 20 cars at the thing. Whew. Wow.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of rough racing there with the 24 and the 25 car. Jason T there, Chris, just ran out of room there. A little bit of a racing incident. That stuff's going to happen here. That, it's unfortunate, but it is a short track, and that is short track racing.
Hey, speaking of our members, we have a couple of members that are international. Jason T, he's Canadian, so I want to thank him for coming out. Phil Otto, who hasn't been able to race with us for a few weeks, is from Australia. And Man, that's pretty cool. You think about that. So, Phil, I know why you can't race with us, and I hope everything gets better there. And we hope to see you back on track very soon. But I definitely wanted to give you a shout out tonight. And you know, as far as our Canadian friend, hey, welcome to the track, eh? I can say that. You can't.
You can say that. You can say that, Chris. I don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely Phil Otto. Yeah, I know you're going through some stuff there, my friend. We're praying for you. We hope everything gets well, and we hope to see you out on the track. But even though he's not out on the track, Chris, he's very active on the page of Facebook, in our drivers and fans page, and in our normal page. So, you know, great guy. It's great to see him out there. Jason Perry, also another one who we miss out on track right now. We do have a GoFundMe page set up for Mr. Perry. He's going through a hard time. Last year, he lost his cousin to a brain aneurysm. I believe it was in March, he lost his aunt who was battling with ALS. She unfortunately succumbed to that battle. A little bit of hard time there, so we do have a GoFundMe page that will be in the description of the video. If you can, donate even just $1 or more. That would be great to help a brother out. All the money's going to him to help with the daily bills and all that stuff. So, and if you can't donate, don't feel bad about that. But if you can, at least share that for us. That would be great.
Some wild racing going on right now. As you see Chris Mefford make a nice move into 4th place. Your first, second, and third place cars have held steady. Chris Mefford moves into 4th place from 5th, getting around Brian Hacker in the 11 car. Some really awesome, exciting action out there. It's almost... I kind of wish I had a couple of different camera angles to show you guys, but I'm doing all I can. And I want to thank all the viewers out there. Listen, I know it's cliche, but I couldn't do this, and Rick couldn't do this. If you guys weren't watching, it wouldn't make any sense. So we really appreciate you guys coming out and watching. And we really appreciate our drivers for putting out a great, great show.
Definitely, please. If you notice that there's something wrong with the stream, let us know in the chat. We are in the chat. We are active. We're watching it. But also give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs down if something's not right. And just throw it in the comments of... what we can improve on. And if you haven't yet, hit that red subscribe button, because that does help us. And when we get to 100 subscribers, and we're close, that means the number 71 JDRF Chris Legoux will be doing a broadcast from inside the car.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how we're going to do that one, Rick, but it's true, and we got to start thinking about it, because my goodness, this channel is blowing up, and we are definitely going to hit 100 subscribers sometime within the next week is what I'm thinking. And to all of you who have done it, thank you so much. I really want to get on track at least one time with these guys, just to kind of see if I still have anything for them or not. So I'd really like to dust off the 71 JDRF car, and I will do so as soon as we hit 100 subs. So as Rick said, if you haven't yet, please feel free, hit that little rectangular subscribe button. Really appreciate that. Action on the track, 1st through 5th, haven't really changed all that much, although Brian Hacker did get back around Chris Mefford. So Chris Mefford trying to figure it out again, as the track has changed slightly. You can see the rubber down on the track, especially in those corners. That does change everything. I think I want to go ahead and do a little rundown of your top 10 right now. We'll get a good shot here. The 94 car, that's T. Roy Radford. He's your leader. Rowdy Johnson, the 13 D Strong car, 2nd place. That's Andy Lambert, Children's Miracle Network, driving the 35 car. Brian Hacker, I forget what his charity is, or his cause. I know it's on there somewhere. Rick, if you can get a better view, that would be awesome. But that's the number 11 card. Brian Hacker running 4th. Chris Mefford, who seems to have a couple of different things going on, but on the hood, GMR, that's the racing team. The 12 car right now, 6th place, AJ Rogers. And Rick is telling me Brian Hacker is ASPCA, and I knew that. In 7th place, that number 10 car, that Mountain Dew ride of Brian Rogers Jr. In the 09, you've got John Stevens. And then to finish off your top 10, the Home Depot car, Jason Fluffy Garrett. Well, we don't always get a chance to do this, but I sure do like it when we can. We've got one of the drivers who kind of had to call it quits tonight. We've got Rick Greenaway up here in the booth with us. Rick Greenaway, Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I do, gentlemen. How are you?
Well, doing pretty good, bud. This has been a pretty exciting race. The laps are clicking off pretty quick now. A couple of really long green flag stretches here as we're on lap 109 of 150, getting ready to do 110. Rick, you were out on the track. Probably not the best night for you, and I understand that. We saw what the 24 car looked like. Tell me about the track. Tight?
It wasn't that bad, actually. I was really happy with the 24 Greenaway Motorsports Production Autism Awareness car. We were right up there, and just you know, got hit in the back, spun around. Everybody saw the undercarriage of my car, but we were moving up there, and I was really happy with it. The track is fast. It's handling nicely. Cars can you can do both lanes. You're not going to get far in the upper lane, but you can hold yourself in that upper lane. You only lose a position if you get pushed up there. So the track is actually really good. It was a fun track to race, I'll tell you that. I mean, as much as I want to be upset, I had a blast out.
Oh, there you have it. I mean, the track was feeling good for Rick. Kobe, I want to say hi to you. Thanks for stopping in tonight. You know we love it when regulars stop in and say hi. So, Rick, as far as the number of cars out there, was it an okay number for you, or did you find it to be maybe just a touch too many?
I thought it was fine, personally. I mean, you go any local short track, you're going to have 20 to 30 cars in the feature on a short track. So, I mean, if you're smart, you know, you make your moves when you can, you know, you do what you got to do. I mean, you can't have feelings when you're out on a short track like this, you know. Things are going to happen. People don't do it on purpose. You know, there was really not a lot of places to pass, so you do what you got to do, and, you know, once you get off the track, everybody's friends. That's the way I look at it.
Well, there you go. We come in as friends, we leave as friends. No harm, no foul there. Got to appreciate the good racing, and we are definitely seeing some good racing as we are in another nice long green flag stretch. We're clicking them off pretty quick right now. Troy Radford, his last lap, 15.566. So, as I mentioned, the track does lose speed as the rubber goes down. We were in the 14s in qualifying. Now we're in 15.454 was Troy's last lap. So, track is definitely slowing down a little bit. Rick, did you notice a big track change when the rubber started getting put down?
I found I got a little bit more grip when the rubber got down, but like you said, it was getting slower. But you know, the one thing that was nice is that I've been lucky to be able to work with Troy and Chris, and we've been doing real long practice sessions, you know, 2 hours long, and so we've been able to work on when the track gets to this condition, so that, you know, you can handle it a lot better. And I mean, you can see from what's going on right now, you know, Troy and Chris are in the front of the pack. You know, the GMR team, we're working together, and we're teaching each other, and this is what the fruit of that labor is that we're able to run out front. The newer guys are now starting to be able to come up front, and it's you know, we're learning how these tracks handle.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, I can't get enough of this racing stuff as we start nearing the end of the race. Rick, I want to thank you very much for joining us up in the booth. That's Rick Greenaway, the driver of the number 24 car, the Rick Greenaway Productions Autism vehicle. Rick, thank you very much for coming up to the booth.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun to be up here with you guys.
And Kobe, yeah, buddy, you're right. Who's your baseball team? I want to know who your baseball team is. And watching a good race, brother, you came to the right place. I want to thank again. I know who your baseball team is.
Go Yankees.
Boo. Socks.
Being from Massachusetts, I'm a Sox guy. And I can say I saw them win a World Series in my lifetime.
Amen. And win.
And win. But I'm not a big baseball guy. Talk about football and hockey any day. It's racing, football, hockey.
I knew I liked you.
Well, here just getting back to the action on the track there. Troy Radford has a really big lead. They're going through a lot of lap traffic. Not much has really been happening. Rowdy Johnson, that 13D Strong car, is still sitting in second. And Andy Lambert in the 35 is sitting in third still. But that lap traffic is really putting a hammer down there on this field as they're giving T. Roy Radford, that number 94 car, a real big chance to put some time between him and Rowdy Johnson. So we'll see what happens there as we're hitting lap 130.
As the race continues on, Troy Radford really starting to put dominance on the map here, leading 85 laps of the 130 completed so far. Troy Radford in the 94 car. Rowdy Johnson with a really strong second place going on right now. Andy Lambert right behind him in third. Brian Hacker fourth. Chris Mefford fifth. That's your top five, and man, they're looking good out there doing it.
They definitely are, Chris. These laps are just ticking away. They're getting a really long green flag run. That's what's going to be interesting to see, how long these tires can hold out, Chris. I'm sure they have plenty of fuel to go the miles that they need to go. But right now, on everyone's minds, probably screaming for a caution to come down and get some new tires, I'm sure.
Just catching up on a little bit of news. Man, getting back to the race, Troy Radford, your first place runner again, really starting to put some cars to lap down. We crossed 135 laps, getting ready to start 136 laps of this 150 event. That means we've got 14 laps to go. Man, they definitely clicking off fast, as we are under an hour so far of this race.
Oh, it's been crazy, Chris. You look at 150 laps and you think it's going to take a while. These guys, especially now that they're in that green flag mode, these laps are just going to continue to tick away really quick.
There it is, your top five, ladies and gentlemen. Troy Radford, Rowdy Johnson, Andy Lambert, Brian Hacker, Chris Mefford. That's your top five, and they are just putting down the laps right now. There's really no other way to say it. Troy Radford looking like he's going for the win tonight. Although, it's not over, and Rowdy Johnson has cleared some lap traffic, so he is free to try and catch the 94 car of Troy Radford. We will definitely keep watching that one. And again, I want to thank all the viewers out there who are watching. Really appreciate that. Again, we couldn't do this without you guys watching, so we really appreciate that.
We definitely appreciate it, Chris. It's amazing to see the fans that come out here every Monday, Wednesday, and lately Friday night to watch these guys race. Friday night is the Thunder Road Racing League running the trucks, another great group that we have decided to step up and help out with some broadcasting, so it's great to see. I mean, we have guys like Kobe, Bug from State Farm down there in Texas showing up, Laura, and Jake Daly. Thank you so much for coming out tonight, being active in the chat. We really do appreciate it. Right now we're working on lap 144, Chris. These laps are almost over this race. T. Roy Radford right now, he is coming into some lap traffic, so that might allow Rowdy in that number 13 D-Strong car to catch up a little bit. We'll see how it goes as T. Roy puts the 45 of Douglas Wysocki down another lap. Wasn't much of a choice there, but he's got 3 cars right ahead of him, Chris. That's going to be a little tougher to find out what they want to do unless these guys get single file and let him take the inside. But right now it looks like the number 09 car is down there. We got the 73 of Fluffy Garrett, and the 07 car is there also. So it's going to get really interesting to see. This will definitely maybe give Rowdy a little bit of chance to make some time up on that interval. And right behind him, Andy Lambert is probably pretty happy to see this too.
Yeah, right now, the cars are getting bunched up. Scott Noslin joins us up in chat. Scott, hey, if you're cheering for Rowdy, I am too. And there he is, the 13D Strong car. Having a very, very good race. Rowdy Johnson tonight in that 13 car.
Now, a little bit of an inside joke. Rowdy calls me his car owner, Chris. And right before this race, I told him if he didn't have a good showing that I was going to let Danica Patrick take over. So I think he's a little bit worried about that. And he's definitely been putting on a show here.
We're getting ready to wind down here. We've got just a couple of laps to go. Troy Radford up front. 2.2 seconds back to Rowdy Johnson, looking to finish strong in second place so Danica doesn't take over the car. Andy Lambert sitting back in third. Brian Hacker fourth in the 11 car. Fifth place, Chris Mefford, who once he kind of relinquished the lead, wasn't quite able to get back there. So, but still a good strong top 5 finish there. It's looking like as we get ready to cross that line one more time. Troy Radford is your winner tonight. Congratulations to Troy.
You know, Troy was definitely working hard, Chris. He hasn't won yet this season. We're in our 3rd season of the late model series. So he was definitely doing what he could. And actually, Rowdy Johnson on number 13 car just came over my radio and said that he was out of fuel coming across that start-finish line. So that was a close race.
Rowdy Johnson looking to get a push back in the pit road, out of fuel in that 13D Strong car. A great second place finish for him. Andy Lambert 3rd, Brian Hacker 4th, Chris Meckford in 5th place in that 44 car. That's your top 5. What a whale of a race, man. Just under an hour to complete 150 laps here at the Bullring. Wow, I don't know. You know, it was awesome. Little congratulations right there from teammates. Chris Mefford, Troy Radford teammates. And Troy Radford getting set to tear the house down. That's it right there. Troy Radford, you're racing for a Cause TV winner tonight. What a wicked race. Troy leads 106 laps to win this one. I want to thank all the viewers again for coming out. We're going to get ready to talk to the top 3 finishers. I'm sure it's going to be very interesting to hear what they have to say tonight.
You know, since the race is so short here, Chris, I think we should talk to the top 4 because I really want to hear from Rowdy. I know he was praying for a good finishing position and taking 4th, running out of gas. I think he's going to be pretty happy.
Yeah, I say bring it on. There's your results right there. Troy Radford, Andy Lambert, Brian Hacker, Rowdy Johnson out of fuel at the line. Chris Mefford 5th, Brian Rogers, AJ Rogers, John Stevens, Jason Garrett, Timothy Hale. It's your top 10. 11 through 20, Doug Wysocki, Tom Quattlebaum Jr., Justin Pinnell, Peyton Johnson, James Edwards, Earl Simpson, Craig Cummington, Jason T., Rick Greenaway, Stacy Bedard. Brandon P. I'm going to work on that name. I'm going to have to figure that one out. AJ Hamill, Scott sorry, Scott. You're in chat too. How embarrassing. Scott Noslin, Pat Smith, and Joshua C. Man, we got some drivers we haven't seen before. That's pretty awesome. Brian Hacker is your 3rd place finisher. Brian Hacker was the he gets the Lucky Dog Award for Rowdy Johnson falling out of fuel because it definitely looked like he was going to take 2nd place. Brian, do you have a copy? This is Chris and Rick up in the booth.
I'm here.
Excuse me 1 second, Brian. Naslin. I've been saying it wrong all the time. Brian Hacker, you got a 3rd place finish on that car tonight. What do you think, bud?
Well, I know Rowdy pulled over because he wanted me to talk to you guys more than he wanted to talk to you guys, so I appreciate that. I think he ran out of fuel, which is unfortunate. He put up a good run. I had a really, really bad qualifying effort, qualified 18th, so to get up into a top 3 is a win for me tonight.
Well, there you go. And how did the car feel out on that track, bud?
This is one of my favorite tracks, so I love coming to the Bullring. So it felt pretty good. It's a little tight. The setup was a little tight. It's tough. It's a tight track with low groove and a low groove only. You can't get a whole lot of momentum on the outside. So starting on the outside or restarting on the outside is pretty detrimental. So I did that a few times at the beginning, but got pretty lucky at the end.
You definitely did a good job with that ASPCA car, man. It was just amazing. I mean, you qualified 18th, you finished 3rd, man. Congratulations. You put on one heck of a race here at the Bullring.
Guys, I appreciate that.
Is there anybody out there you want to thank, my friend?
Yeah, of course. So first off, I would like to thank the new headset that's coming in the mail tomorrow. I ran about half that race with no audio, so that made it pretty difficult. Couldn't hear my engine for a majority of those laps, so that was pretty tough. I'd also like to thank the restaurant down the road that fed me the shish kebabs tonight. Those were pretty delicious. But I also would like to thank you guys for putting this on. It's a lot of fun. I love coming out on Mondays and Wednesdays and running with you guys. And at the same time, I'd like to thank AJ Rogers for helping me out as my teammate. Loves Park Motorsports, our insurance options, all the above.
Outstanding, brother. Well, hey, it's a good food to a good headset. I know that is one thing that drives me nuts. If I lose any kind of audio when I'm racing, it totally throws everything off. But man, you didn't let that bother you tonight as you come in 3rd, so congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Brian Hacker, your 3rd place finisher. What a run for him tonight. And it's pretty amazing. Running out of fuel, it looks like we've had a couple of drivers that did in fact run out of fuel. So one person who didn't, the 35 car, Andy Lambert, Chris, and Rick up in the booth. You have a copy.
Yeah, guys, how are you?
Hey, doing pretty well, bud. And congratulations from a couple of Vermonters to another Vermonter. Really great run tonight. Tell me about the car and tell me about the track.
The track's really tight corners, and there's a wide entry in 3, and it's almost irresistible for guys to try to dive bomb that corner in 3. So it's a tough racetrack, but I have a good car. I like this racetrack for whatever reason. Same reason I like Concord, I guess. But I was really proud of Rowdy running up there in the top 2 and 3 all night, and it sucks he ran out of gas. But I'm glad he finished in the top 5. So overall, it was a good night for everyone.
Well, let me tell you, I know last week you missed 5 flags due to a penalty and had somebody else in your car. It was really cool to see both last week and tonight that Children's Miracle Network car do a good job, buddy. So congratulations on your finish tonight. I know you've been looking for a good finish, so there it is. You just have a couple more to tick away and take that win. So congratulations. Anybody out there you want to thank?
I'd like to thank Jag Haklack for running that last week. That was nice of him to keep that paint scheme out there, and just thank you guys for broadcasting this and everybody who comes out and races with us. It's a fantastic league. These little Bullrings are tough, but we get through them and we move on. So that's it.
There you go. Andy Lambert driving the number 35 car. Coming home 2nd tonight. Great job from Andy. That leaves us with just a couple more drivers. And I want to get our winner here, Troy Radford, in the 94 car. T-Roy Radford, as we've been told to call him. T-Roy! Chris and Rick up in the booth. You have a copy.
I do, gentlemen. You guys doing all right tonight?
Oh, buddy. We just watched a really great race. Yes, we're doing all right tonight. How did the car feel? Tell me about the win.
Car was perfect tonight. Just get down there, hook the apron, get it to rotate. Had some great restarts. And it was just a good night all around, man. I cannot complain.
That's awesome, man. And I know we did some practice, so you can tell everybody out there if you want. It's because you and I practiced together that you won tonight.
Without a doubt.
Oh, that's awesome, Troy. Well, hey, congratulations on your win, the first win of this season, man. You did an outstanding job. When it was you and Medford up there, I didn't know what was going to happen. You both are really good racers. I mean, as we said earlier in the stream, GMR Motorsports, man, you guys, you put a lot of practice and heart and time into it. You guys, we love what you do for the league. You help everybody out. So that's just a fabulous thing to see. So congratulations. Anybody out there you want to thank, my friend?
Of course, just all the guys at GMR for showing up, and of course getting out there and running the laps that we do. It's just everything we do together, and what makes us the way we are, and we're having a great season at it. I also want to throw a congrats out. I mean, honestly, the racing tonight was fantastic. Lap cars, plenty of give and take, even up in the race. I know there were a few issues, but man, we had some great racing out there tonight.
Yeah, that's what we saw too. T. Roy Radford in the 94 car, your winner tonight. Troy, thank you very much for coming up to see us. Really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you next week.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And just when you think we were done, we're not. The rowdy one himself, the rowdy numbered 13 D Strong car, running out of fuel but finishing fourth. Rowdy, Johnson, Chris, and Rick up in the booth. You have a copy.
How we doing, guys?
Hey, buddy. You had a second place finish coming. I felt it. Rick felt it. Rick was telling me that Danica was probably going to have to take over the car before next week. I said, no way, you watch. That's not what really happened. But you ran out of fuel. When did you run out of fuel? What turn?
Believe it or not, with 5 laps to go, crew chief came over the radio and said, we're going to have to make one more pit stop. And I came back and said, oh, hell no. We're not coming in. So I started just lifting as much as I could going down the straightaway, and the laps were ticking off, and with 1 to go, it started burping up a little bit, and I let a few cars go by and coasted, and coming out of turn 4, I just put it to the floor and gave it everything she had.
Well, I know it's a finish that you didn't really want, but man, top 5. You did me proud as your quote-unquote car owner, man. You've been, you have a lot of heart. You've been putting in a lot of practice here, so it's really good to see you finally have a good night on one of the toughest tracks that is definitely on the schedule. So congratulations, my brother. Is there anybody out there you want to thank?
First and foremost, I want to say hi to my dad and my stepmom for watching. They're pretty much fans every week, and I got to thank, of course, my car owner, Rick Hammond Jr., for sticking with me since day one. It's been a long shot for us. It's been a long, tough road. We're finally starting to get there. Our first goal was to finish races, and then it was to get some top 5s, and I think we're finally working on our way to get some podium finishes. And there's only one more thing for us to do, and I think that first win's coming soon.
Well, congratulations, man. Thank you for everything you do. I really appreciate it, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely, Rowdy. If you keep racing the way you are, that first win's right around the corner, bud. Very good job tonight from Rowdy Johnson. Really appreciate that. And I really want to say thank you again to all the viewers out there. It was a wild one here from the Bullring. Rick, it was a great race. Thank you very much for joining me up in the booth tonight. I want to thank again all the viewers out there. Really appreciate you coming out. Any last thoughts, bud?
Really, I mean, you really said it. Thank you to the viewers. Thank you for the racers that come out here each week, Monday, Wednesday. Yeah, it's just amazing what happens here. I see Peyton there, buzzing bark. You had a good race, man. Your mom was in here. She was cheering for you. She gave us a little bit of a chance to embarrass you a little bit. So if you rewatch the stream, you're definitely going to see that, man. Your car looks beautiful. I'm glad that you're running it for a cause. That means something to you. And you and your mom are definitely in our prayers that everything goes well and continues to go well. So congratulations. Just want to congratulate Troy on his win tonight, first of the series, as I said, Andy Lambert, everybody. I mean, they all had some good racing, and they definitely put on a good show. So that's what it's all about. And again, like Chris said, thank you to the viewers, because we wouldn't be doing this without you guys. You're the ones that really help us keep going week in and week out, and it's always great to see. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I appreciate everything you guys do for us.
One last time, thank you, everybody. For Rick Hammond, this is Chris Leahy, and we really appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody.
And stay tuned for the fireworks.
No fireworks tonight, Rick. No fireworks.
That's because you did them in the beginning. Okay.